hello. I know today is a holiday, but we still gonna show up. It took all I had in me to make sure that I did not miss today. So for those of you who are going to join us live or join us hashtag replay, I'm happy that you are here. Look, I came on a minute or two early because I wanted to give people the opportunity to join. I know it takes a little bit for people to get the notification, so it has been sent. But I hope you guys are having a great day today. It's a Monday. A lot of people didn't have to go to work today. It's almost the end of the month, so lots of things to be excited about. I know for me, I love the idea of new beginnings. And the fact that it's a Monday, we're about to start a new month and it's also the beginning of what a new quarter as well. Yeah, June, July, August, third quarter of the year. I'm just super jazzed up and excited for all the possibilities. All the possibilities. And look, we gonna address the elephant in the room real quick. I know I'm not camera ready. For those of you who've been watching me for a while, know I have an eye condition and we have a brand photo shoot tomorrow. And so your girl was not going to chance it and put eyeshadow on today to be cute for the camera, knowing that I have to be able to put eyeshadow on tomorrow. So you're getting me in my natural form, well, mostly natural form, but we still going to get the job done. If you are watching, if you're joining us live, definitely tell me hello. We are right now, we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on Facebook, in the general room, and then we're also live in Facebook in our private community. And matter of fact, since I joined early, I think we might even have time for Instagram today. Let me see. Y'all know sometimes let me get our business phone out here. Sometimes I get on Instagram, sometimes I don't. We're gonna try. Let me see if we can make it simple. We're gonna do it. If it becomes too hard, we're gonna have to leave Instagram alone. All right, let's see. All right, come on, Instagram. We're gonna do live while people are joining us. Come on in the room. All right, I see the live button. All right, we're gonna give this a title. And again, if you're watching, let me know you're here so I can see you. Hello, and hello. There we go, so I can see people coming in. And now we're gonna get in and get out today because I promised my husband, he's usually at work all the time. I promised him that I was gonna do 30 minutes and get off so that I would have time to spend with the fam. So we really are. Hello. We are gonna get in and get out. We are now live on Instagram. Hey guys, hey Instagram. Cool. So now that we are all here and accounted for, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so today's talk is about the art of selling, how to close deals and increase your revenue. I think this is the thing that most of us are here for. We want to make sales. Now, yes, we want to make impact, we want to make change, we want to support people, but at the end of the day, we're not doing a hobby. We're not out here just giving away our things. We're trying to make sales and make profit, right? We're trying to build legacy and have the finances to be able to impact other people's lives. Oftentimes we feel like we have to start in a place of almost poverty where we're saying we're just going to give it all away because nobody should have to pay for this, but then you wonder why you can't grow the way you need to really provide that support that people need is because you don't have funds. So we have to come into business thinking of our businesses as what? A business. As a business. And so today we're going to talk about the art of selling. I'm going to keep it super simple, give you things that you can start working on right now that are not going to cost you a dime. Okay, because I made my first sales just by word of mouth alone. And so, and I actually had a client who asked me, she told me, she said, I don't know what it takes to make my first sale. And I told her, really, it just takes grind and hustle. A lot of coaches will tell you you have to have a website up, you have to be on social media, you got to have all this stuff, right, to make your first sale. But it really just takes hustle. But once you get those first few sales, yes, you need to put together some type of system if you haven't done so already, so that you can duplicate your effects and make it less cumbersome and more. It shouldn't be based on luck. It should be based on actually knowing that your system works. But for today, we're going to give you the basics so that you can go out and do great things and make some sales this month. All right, because that's the goal. Everybody's going to make a sale this month. And hey, if you're watching, look, you got some Instagram folk watching. Hey, Instagram, gotcha. All right. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Corey Fumble Foster. I am a speaker, trainer. I'm a certified business coach, but I'm also the CEO of iRock Marketable Business Solutions based here in Virginia, USA. And we help small business owners just like yourselves monetize their passions, get clear on their offers, their audience. We want to help you engage with that target audience, those perfect clients. And then we want to help you consistently implement your sales and marketing plans. And we do this because we believe each and every one of you deserves to live the life that you want for yourself and to have success in whatever form that takes for you. So, and I know Instagram can never see my slides. And hey, I see you, Mr. Melvin Carter. Hey, welcome, welcome. Know you from back in the day. Like I get excited. I'm never on Instagram, but now we're here and they're showing up. It's beautiful. All right, but anyway, what do we offer? All right, so we offer two parts to our business. We have our done with you coaching. That could be one-on-one coaching, group coaching. We also have something for those who want to test out the water, something called power hour coaching. I'm not trying to sell you anything right now, just want you to know kind of what we offer in case you're ever in need. We also, on the other side of our business, have done for you marketing services, where we have amazing marketing experts to help you do video editing, PDF creation, graphic design, social media management, email marketing, event planning, virtual moderation, course creations, websites, landing pages, logos, and lots more. So if you are at a place in your business where you need to just outsource a few things, we are also here to support you doing just that. All right, and for those of you who are engaged with us, you guys know we brought out our group name about a month or two ago, I think, and we told you guys that if you are doing business with us, whether you're just tuning in through one of our free events or if you have invested in one of our paid programs, you are a rock star. And I'm so excited and honored that you are here with us. And so if you ever hear us say, who are the rock stars in the room, you know that you are one of those individuals. So what are we going to learn today? And I told you we're going to be moving. So get your pen and paper ready. Today we're going to be talking about how to do sales, right? And I told you I'm going to keep it really simple. Sometimes when we get into sales, we can get really detailed and you're having to set up a ton of systems to get it done. Today we're going to talk about what we can do right now to get this ball moving. Because this is the place where a lot of you may have been in other coaching programs. You've been doing X, Y, and Z, and you're like, okay, I need to make some money now. Like this is do or die. If I don't make a sale this month, I'm gonna have to close up shop. Let me give you some things to go ahead and get done to help get that ball moving. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about building relationships. Oftentimes you are so focused on new people that you forget you already have people around you that can support you or even be a client right now. So the first thing I want you guys to think about doing is really building, actually not even building, but leveraging your network, right? Who is already in your corner? When I started my business, I always talk about the fact that I sent out some Facebook DMs. And those are to people who already knew who I was. They already knew I wasn't a scammer. They already knew that I seemed like a decent enough person. Maybe they had seen me speak someplace before. Maybe they were a family friend or a friend of a friend. Like they knew at least of me. I sent them messages letting them know who I was and reintroduced them to what I did as a business and offered my services. And I also put out, hey, if you can't utilize these services, but you know someone who can, let me know. Make the introduction, send them my way. And through that alone, I got 3 new clients. No website, no social media, no nothing. I leveraged the people that I already knew and had them either go ahead and become clients or have them reach out to people they knew to also get them to consider doing business with me. And I continue to use that strategy now. Now, it's not the only thing I do, but I still do. I actually, a couple of weeks ago, was invited to speak to a group of ed consultants. I think I talked about this last week. And it was so cool because I got to see some people I had worked with before, but I also got introduced to some new people. Just before we got on today, one of those people had booked a call with me and wants to do business because, again, that was a network I was already introduced to. Then they brought new people in that weren't introduced to me. Now they're exposed to me. Now they want to do business. Or in the future, guess what? They might know somebody else who might need services from me. They're like, yeah, I heard this lady talk. I think you'd be great. Here's her information. And so we have to really think about business as like the long term, right? The future goals. Don't think, okay, this person may not be ready to do business with me today. They may be ready to do business with you in 6 months. So don't let those leads fall. You want to really just work on telling the people who we already know exactly what we do. I was at a barbecue yesterday, minding my own business. My mother-in-law had a party. She would tell people, "Oh yeah, this is my daughter-in-law. She has her own business." Somebody was like, "Oh really? Tell me more." You think I didn't tell her? I sure did. And she was like, "Okay, well yeah, me and my brother actually are trying to do some things." They were at the very early stages. They probably can't utilize me now, but guess what? We've been introduced. So when she is ready, she knows what I do, and I'm sure she'll at least reach out to get some insights, maybe set up a free call, because she knows that I'm somebody who she can trust because she trusts my mother-in-law, right? So again, leveraging the networks you have. A lot of you may be a part of a sorority, a fraternity, some type of organization. Maybe you've done some free work in the past. Maybe you freelance. Maybe you're part of different school systems. Whatever the case may be, you have a group of people already that you know, right? I don't care if you've been going to the same hair salon for a decade. Those are people you know. Tell them what you do. Tell them what you're trying to do. Tell them who you support, how you help them, and let those be your first potential clients without having to worry about all the rest of the things. I also want you to think about building your own community. Oftentimes you're focused on, for some reason, like ads and reaching out to people who have never heard about you ever. It's so much harder to sell to a cold audience. You can do it for sure, but it's harder. So I really want to encourage you guys to develop and build your own community of folk, right? So we always talk about, we have a private Facebook group. That's our community. Those are our rock stars. They're in there. They get our content every single day. If I don't show up nowhere, I'm showing up for them. I know a lot of their businesses by heart. I actually have met several of them in real life. And I think right now we're at, like, I'm looking this up, my screen's over here. I think we're at least 1,300 deep right now of amazing entrepreneurs. Everybody is trying to go towards the same goal, and we can do it together. We support each other. And that's what you want to start thinking about. Do you have a community where you are nurturing leads, supporting your target audience already in some type of capacity? I'm not saying you got to spend every waking day there. I'm not saying you have to give it all away for free. But when you put a community of like minded individuals together, they are more likely to succeed. They are more likely to feel like they're not alone. They're more likely to help share resources because you don't have to be the end all be all, right? Like, I am an expert in what I'm an expert in, but I bring experts to my network all the time and they join the community. So when somebody else has a question that maybe I can't help them with or is not really my zone of genius, they now have access to those people in our community. You want to do the same thing. We've talked time and time again about this idea of know, like, and trust, right? They have to know you, they have to like you, they have to trust you. And a lot of that comes with them repeatedly seeing you show up as an expert. Well, you can do that if you put them in a community, right? Because they're more likely to see you versus if you just they happen your content happens to come across their screen once and it's like, okay, cool, they saw you, but maybe you're putting out additional content, they never see you again. You lost that lead. Versus if you invite them to a community where they're going to get notifications when you post, they're going to be able to interact with you, they're going to be able to maybe even win opportunities to speak with you one-on-one or in a group setting or come to an event where you're going to be able to help them move the needle in their business or whatever your zone of genius is. Some of you are really great at wellness. Well, make a wellness group. Some of you are really good at crafts. Make a crafting group. Some of you are great with relationships. Make a relationship group. Invite your target audience there and then nurture them, give them a massive value. And then when it's time to make a sale, they're more likely to purchase and do business with you. Something else you can think about is collaborating. Get out of that mindset now of competition, right? So many of us come into business thinking everybody's our competition. Oh, I can't tell them about this, or I can't share this about my business because somebody gonna try to steal it. Get out of that mindset. There's enough for everyone. Collaboration is key. That was one of our biggest goals for this year, and collaboration has given us so many cool opportunities we never would have had access to had we just stayed in our little bubble, been that little engine that could all alone. Like, when you have other people that can share your content, lift you up, let you know about opportunities that you may not have known about, that helps you also increase your reach and then eventually increase your sales. Like I said, I got invited to speak because They were a part of my community, my network. People even on that call were like, "Oh, I see her go live every Monday at 6." I was like, "Oh, yay!" That's because I collaborated with the owners of that group. I also have been able to speak at different conferences. Why? Because I've done collaborations with some of those individuals or people they know in the past. So just be willing and open. Yes, you're going to have to say no to some things. You can't collaborate with everyone, but if you can see that it's going to be a positive experience, one that is not going to be an issue in any way to your business, towards your progress, who's going to give you an opportunity and give them, the people you're working with, an opportunity, take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. Don't think you gotta, do, paid things all the time. I will go do something free for someone. They'll come do something free for me. I do podcast switches all the time, where they'll come on my podcast, I'll go on their podcast. Nobody made a dime from just appearing on the podcast, or I should say, like, deciding to be on the podcast. But I got to be introduced to their audience. They got to be introduced to my audience. I may have even offered something free that got me new people into my email list. And now, again, I can sell to, I can invite to my community. So you got to think, like I said, long game, building those relationships, building that tribe, collaborating with individuals who can offer you additional opportunities, or even you offering them opportunities. And then don't forget to think about places where you can get more exposure for free, such as things like podcasts and additional speaking opportunities. Look for those opportunities, because those, again, lead to sales. It's not always about just the sales call. How do we get to the sales call? How do we get in front of our target audience? Well, we got to go places where they are, right? I want to go to where small businesses are, whether that's a vending event, a conference, an exhibit, wherever they are, that's where I want to be. Because when I'm there, then I have opportunity to connect with them. So you have to start thinking, where is your audience? If you do wellness, you better hop your tail to the gym, to some place, right? You need to be at a place where they meditate, Pilates, yoga, wherever. You need to be places where people are caring about fitness and wellness, because you're gonna find your people there, and then you can invite them to join your tribe and to learn and grow with you. And again, when it's time to sell, they're gonna be ready. All right, so let's do number two. I know that was a lot. That was just number one. But number two, you got to also really understand how to overcome objections. So you've done all this work to cultivate this community, to build that know, like, and trust. You've collaborated. You've done all that. You get them on the sales call, and then you can't overcome their objections. They're like, but I don't like this, or I'm not sure about this, or I can't because of this. And then you're like, okay, well, thanks for the call. You've lost that potential customer because you have not mastered the art of overcoming objections. And it's going to be so important. So let's just talk about the common ones. Now, every now and then somebody throws you for a loop, and it's just going to happen. Be prepared. It's going to be okay. But the majority of people kind of fall into a few categories. They're not saying nothing new, right? Lack of budget. It costs too much. It's too expensive. Well, one thing I'm gonna trick you guys, well, not trick you guys, but I'm gonna teach you guys a trick to when you talk about budgets and money in a sales call. You never want to say, hey, this is how much it costs, or you can buy it for this much. You want, and again, if this applies to you, because if you out here peddling craziness, this ain't gonna apply to you. But if you're really gonna give them something that's gonna support them and move them forward in some way, then let them know the investment is, right? The investment, because there should be a ROI, right? A return on investment. So it's not like they're just throwing money out the window, like, oh, I'm going to the movies. That money I'll never see again. It is what it is. No, if they're spending money with you, they're investing in a product or service that is going to help them move forward in some area of their life, right? Because most of you are coaches and consultants. And so they're investing in themselves. And so just by even switching that word alone really can help people change their mindset around having to spend money on something. Because sometimes you got to realize, in order to move forward, you gotta be willing to pay for that experience. I always tell people, yes, for what I teach, you could go to YouTube. I put out a lot of free stuff. You could go Google it. But the problem is, you don't have someone to support you from A to Z. You don't have someone telling you, okay, the next step is this, the next step is that. And that is why a lot of people aren't being successful, because they're just out here grabbing little things and trying to see what works. And those things may work for some, but may not be the right fit for them. And so I'm always like, hey, you're not just investing in a random coach. You're investing in a coach that understands your budget is a concern, that understands your time is a concern, that's going to hold your hand and walk you through the process, and that's going to go towards your goals that you have for yourself, not the goals I've set for you. Right? This is a customized plan. And so then they're like, okay, that makes sense because I've tried it before, right? That's another objection. I've tried it before, but that didn't work for me. It's like, well, this is a different thing. And you have to tell people why. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. She said, even to stretch you, I needed someone to stretch me. Yes, you need that. You need that for sure. All right, so like I said, budget is going to be something. Now, when it comes to budget, you also can help yourself by really having a clear plan for how this transaction is going to occur, right? And I usually like to talk about high ticket because usually low ticket isn't too much of a budget issue, but for high ticket, having payment options is going to help you overcome this objection, right? Okay, this is how much it costs if you pay in full. This is how much it costs if you pay per whatever, per month, however you want to break it up. I can do 2 payments a month, however you want to do it. Also, if you guys are doing big packages, especially for coaches, there are a lot of third party providers that can offer coaching loans to your clients. And I've had clients use different ones. I'm not going to recommend any in particular. Do your own research because some you have to be making a certain amount per month, some you have to pay a certain amount to get into. They use different formats. Do your research, figure out which one works best for you, but that will be another way for you to offer clients a way to pay a smaller installment over a longer period of time to make whatever you're offering more affordable. So that's a way again to get around that budget part. And also on the other end, offer incentives for people to pay in full. Some people might be like, well, I had one lady be like, if I pay this today, what can you do for me? I was like, let me get my calculator out. let me put it in there. And I gave her like, I think it was like $200-300 off because she was like, I'm gonna pay right now. Like, send it to me. Because yeah, I want to reward people for that too. So some people may want to just get it over with, and so give them an incentive for that. But some people who may not be financially able to pay in full, give them options as well. Know what kind of sales you are able to give prior to the call starting. Because some people are like, well, what if, could you maybe know what you can and can't do? Early on in my business, I would try to just get any client I could, and I would give crazy discounts and then go back and look and realize I barely made any money off of a sale that it really wasn't even worth my time or energy. So just be mindful. What can you do? What can't you do? Because some people just may not be ready right now to do that particular plan with you, and that's okay. Also, another objection that you might encounter is this idea of, again, they don't trust you, they don't know you, they don't trust you, you lack authority in their eyes, like you're not a household name. So they're really, because scammers are out here, right? People out here just taking people's money, running with it. And so some people might be like, you talking good, but I don't know if I'm about to throw you $6,000. I don't know you like that. And so with that being said, you need to figure out before the call even happens how to build that up. And that's why I always suggest having a community, because then they get to know you, having testimonials available for them to see that you've worked with other people, sharing that. So like if you go to our website, you can see like past logos, past testimonials, you can see all the clients. I also, depending on the level of the client coming in, I might even drop some names like, hey, you can check this person out. But that's usually at the highest level. I'll be like, ask them. They'll tell you. All right, this person, they made this much. Go tell them. Go let them tell you. But yeah, have that authority so people won't be afraid to do business with you, because it's not a you thing. You can't, don't get in your feelings about this and be like, oh my God, like I would never. Like I get it, you wouldn't, but they don't know you. And the reality is that there are just a lot of people out here being shady. And so people have to protect themselves. So if they aren't totally in on you, make it so that you have things in place to show them that you're the real deal. And make sure that you look professional at every level. Your contracts are tight, your invoicing is good, your website is straight, so that when they go look, there's no reason for them to doubt, right? They're like, this don't look right. Like they sending me a Cash App request. I can't do it. I forgot something happened recently where that happened. Somebody was like, Cash App, and I was just like, That don't sit right in my soul. No shade to people that are Cash App. It's just for business purposes, I don't prefer that. I want to have at least a PayPal. And I know some people might feel different about PayPal versus Cash App, but I feel like PayPal just holds a little bit more weight. But then I like a nice invoicing system. I would like to get a nice receipt. I want all those things. I don't want it just to disappear. My money went someplace and I don't know how to track it. So just keep that in mind when it comes to just the trust and authority you need to bring to really, especially close high ticket. Another objection you may face is this idea that people say, I don't think I need that. I can't tell you how many times I get on calls because when we set up our strategy calls or whatever we decide to call our calls that day, it'll ask people, do you have a coach? And people will go out of their way to be like, no, I'm going to do it alone. Kid you not. I got it by myself. I'm going to be good by me. It's me, myself, and I. Like, they'll always put something there. And it makes me chuckle because, one, none of us do it alone. I can't think of any successful entrepreneurs like I did it all by myself, none but me and the Lord. Not typically. That's not how it happens. And so because of that, people will get on calls and be like, oh, I don't need this. Because again, I'm talking to you guys, you're coaches and consultants. They'll say, oh, I don't need coaching or I don't need consulting. I can do it by myself. I think I got it. People will say that. And I would ask them, so how long, because you've already asked them questions, how long have you been in business? We have those questions beforehand about how much are they making a month? How much do they want to make? What is causing you? This is the question you ask. What is causing you to not reach your next goal? Why haven't you gotten there yet? Because that's what we need to unpack. If you say you can do it by yourself, right? You good. Why aren't you where you want to be then if you're good? What area is giving you the most trouble? What skills maybe don't you have that if you had them, you could move even faster? Because yeah, you can do some things on your own, but they're gonna take you forever. I've had people tell me they've been working on a website for 6 months, and in 6 months they'll get back to me because that website will be done. You took a year to make a website. How about give us 30 days or less to make your website and you go work on something else and we can move past this, right? So you need to be real with them and say, okay, you say you don't need this. Can I ask? Because you know what your product or service does, right? What it solves, the problem it solves. Ask them, well, why haven't you already solved this problem? And not in a butthole way, but in a realistic way. You said you want to get this many gigs a month. You've gotten 0 in the last 6 months. Can you tell me why you think that is? And usually that'll lead to the conversation of they're missing something that they may not even realize they're missing. And you're like, that's exactly why you probably need this program, because you know what you need, but you're not getting it done. You need this accountability part, right? You need somebody else because you're lying to yourself, but now you won't be able to lie to us because we're going to tell you, hey, you said you're going to do this and you didn't get this done. That kind of stuff. So you just need to get them to realize they need you in that section, because they're saying, I don't need you. Well, let's talk about that. Why do you think that is? You're not going to win them all, but I think that definitely will help you. A lot of people will say they don't need it now, right? That lack of urgency. Sometimes by giving them offers that are time sensitive will help that. Saying, okay, well, this is only available now or to this many people at this price. Price won't be this low again. That works. But also, urgency for me, because I'm a business coach, goes into, well, you say you want to be at this place at this time. If that's the case, then we need to get started now. And I tell people realistically, in month 1, month 2, month 3, what can be done? Because a lot of people will say, well, in the summer, I can do this. Or when the kids, go to Christmas break, or I need to save up this amount. They'll give you reasons. And I'll say, okay, well, let's look at this. Because the time is going to happen regardless, whether they start or not. Where do you want to be in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? Well, if that's where you want to be, then we need to get started here, because we have to backtrack and say, okay, we got to get this work done now. Every day you put off is another day you're further away from your goal. So that's the kind of thoughts that need to be going in your head, because people could say, okay, I'm going to come back in a month. And you're like, okay, well, I'll see you in a month. They may never come back. So much can happen in 30 days. Now, if I have had a call with somebody and they told me their plan and we've discussed it and they're just like, nah, they already decided before the call that they not starting until June, I just put a note and I reach back out in June. Because sometimes they do come back. I just make sure I follow up on my end. But a lot of people say they don't want to start now because they think they're going to be overwhelmed. You have to kind of just reassure them, if it's true, that what you're doing is not going to be overwhelming, but be a help to what they're already doing, and that there's already a plan to make sure that they are going to be successful, even with lifing the way it is. Something else you can talk to that happens on like sales calls, even if you tell them beforehand to make sure the decision maker is on the call, the decision maker won't be on the call, or sometimes they just don't want to make the decision. You'll say, "Hey, are you the decision maker?" At the very beginning of the call, "Yes, I am. I don't need anybody else. I can make the decision. Let's go." Get to the end, you say the price, you say, "Okay, can I send you that invoice now?" And they say, "I need to talk to my husband about it first, or let me talk to, I got a partner that I'm bringing in, let me discuss with them and get back to you." It never fails. I promise you. But something that you can do is, one, have it be in your, because you got to do what you can do ahead of time. Have it be when they book the call, make sure all decision makers on the call. Even in the reminders, make sure decision makers on the call. At the beginning, hey, are you the decision maker? Sometimes that'll help. Sometimes it doesn't. They just do it anyway. But even if you get to the end of the call, the decision maker's not on the call, hey, well then let's set up a time now where we can all get on a follow-up call. I'm not going to just let the lead die. Let's go ahead and get on a call. Or, hey, I'm going to shoot you over the invoice now. Go ahead and look it over with your husband. If he has any questions, feel free to shoot them back at me. I'm going to be reaching back out to you in a couple of days just to catch up, make sure that there's no questions, and we can move forward at that time. So you got to just keep that ball moving. You don't want to say, "Okay, well, go ahead and talk to them and get back to me." Nah, I'm gonna come back to you in a couple of days. I'm gonna send you the proposal now to review. Even if you recorded the call, I'm gonna send you a copy of the recording. Again, let me know if you have questions in the meantime, in between time, and then I'll have you tentatively scheduled to start on this day. Because they believe, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm excited, I'm ready to go," but just let me check with them. Okay, then let's proceed as if we would, and then go ahead and get your partner, whomever, involved. Something else that can happen is just a product objection. They feel like something in the product is missing, or it's not the right product for them. Depending on what that particular objection is, you just need to be prepared for it. Some small things people will be able to voice and you can add on. So sometimes I'll get on a call and somebody will say, "I would do that, except I know I'm going to need some email support. Can you do that?" And a lot of times I can add it. It's not a problem. It doesn't cost me anything else. So I'm like, "Cool, we can do that for you." Sometimes they're mentioning maybe a higher level of help and you just need to offer them that higher level product. Or maybe they're asking for something a little lower than what you asked and you can just offer them the lower product. Again, the objection is not a no, is what you need to understand. Objections are not a no. They're just room for more conversation. You have to get yourself in the mindset they're not trying to attack you. It's not a no to you. It's a way for you to listen more intently and solve whatever their issue is with moving forward so that you can do what? Move forward, make a sale. All right, so number three, this is the last one for tonight, is when you actually are closing the deal, like how to close the deal. Because objections are going to come. That's one part. But we also have to talk about just, some of you get these people on a call and then the ball just drops. And I realized that from talking to several of you. And this is some of the things that I can give you as feedback because I want you guys to succeed. All right, one, have a script. Have a script and have a script. Have a script for your calls. People will go on tangents. You will go on tangents, and you have wasted 30 minutes and nothing has gotten done. You just chatted or you tried to solve all of their problems on a quick call. Have a script. Now, I will tell you, sometimes I go off, off into the deep end, and I know better. And that may happen to you too. Don't be hard on yourself. But I will tell you, having a script is going to really help you stay focused and get the most out of your calls. You can Google a lot of sales script templates. When we work with clients, we actually give you a sales script template to get started and to customize. I don't want you to think you have to hold it up in front of you and read it by any means. It's just a guide to help you stay on target in the conversation and remember what is the next section that you should be diving into. There's an intro section, there's a sales pitch section, and then there's even more that's involved in it. It'll help you stay on track because when you have a script, it'll make sure that you're not missing any of the important pieces that are going to lead you towards that sale. Also, I want you to go into calls with confidence. Stop thinking of sales as this icky thing that you hate doing. Sales is service. In order for people to have those amazing results you know that they're capable of, and for them to live the life that they want to live, you have to sell them the product or service. If you are selling people wellness and they're going to be able to lose weight and be able to run and skip and jump with their kids and live longer, healthier lives and be happier and love their body and have all this new confidence, you're going to have to sell them the product or service for them to do so. If you're too afraid to sell them that, that's another day that they have to sit there not living life the way they want to because you were too afraid or too timid to open your mouth and support them. I always tell people you should be ashamed of yourself for every day you don't sell because people need you. They need what you have. They need your gift. And so again, stop thinking of it as this thing and think of it as service. You are offering them something that is going to support them in so many amazing ways and make a positive impact on their lives. Have confidence when you are selling. You know what you do works. If not, then you wouldn't be selling it or you shouldn't be selling it. So if what you do helps people, confidently sell it to your target audience because it was made for them. It was made with them in mind. All right. Something else to make sure you're doing in these sales calls is to know your prices. We talked about that. Know your sales, know your extra perks, what you can and can't offer. It really sucks to be on these calls and somebody asks you something and you're like, well, let me look it up. Let me, sometimes you have to customize because I have to at times too. People want several things and we'll do it. But usually I know if they're bundling things, I know how much I can take off for that. And so it's just literally making sure my numbers are right. But you need to have that in mind. Somebody say, okay, oh, I want that service. You're like, okay, well, how much would you charge for it? It's like, oh, come on now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Confidently give them that price of investment. All right, the investment for this, for the results we talked about that you say you want is this, and this is what it's like to move forward. Let's go ahead and get this done. Confidently know your prices, and then don't be afraid to follow up. Even if you do your script, you've overcome the objections, and they still say no, not right now, maybe in a little bit. I'm not sure. Let me think on it. Have a system in place to follow up. Emails, phone calls. Once I send a proposal, my system automatically will remind me to follow up with that person. And it'll just keep making me follow up until they either say, you know what, I no longer need that service, or maybe we don't even offer no more. Like I have people that I've been following up for months. I even have tags of people that say, oh, come back in February. Guess what? They're going to hear from me in February. Also, make sure all the people that you go into a sales call with end up on your email list. They've been invited to your community because sometimes, again, they just need to see you more times before they're ready to jump in, or maybe they just haven't heard that right offer for them. And so just keep it up. It's not a no, it's not the end. It's just time to do more connecting with them. So we talked about 3 things tonight. We talked about the importance of building relationships, right? The idea of leveraging the network you already have, building a community or a tribe, collaborating with other individuals, and also getting that third party exposure. We talked about overcoming common objections like budget, trust, needs, urgency, times, being the decision maker, product objections. And then we also talked about things you really need to do to close the sale, such as having a sales script, selling with confidence, knowing your prices, and definitely following up. These tools will get you so much further than you spending all your time focused on automation, focused on Facebook ads or Instagram ads or putting out tons of content. These things alone, if you just made this your system, could get you your first client or 3. All right. So get to it. June is right around the corner. I want us all to be amazingly successful, but you got to start putting in the work now and getting in front of people who are going to be your perfect audience. So if you need help closing the deal for whatever product or service you have coming out, I do encourage you to go ahead and book a call with us. We're here to support you, whether you just need us to support you through some marketing things. Maybe your website needs to be tightened up. Maybe you need some email marketing to support you for following up and things of that nature. Or maybe you actually need someone to sit down and help you build out a plan to reach your target audience, to build that community and give you that sales script. Either way, do book a call with us. It's completely free, 30 minutes. We're going to talk about what your goals are and how, if we can support you, we'll tell you what that looks like, so that you can move forward, because that's the goal. I don't want you waiting 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, 12 months from now, still trying to do it alone. I promise you, it's a lot easier when we do it together. I've been where you are, and I'm here to support you. My team is here to support you, which is great because I'm not the expert of everything. But again, I know somebody, or I have a team, a person on my team that can support you to get this done, and we can get it done a lot quicker, like I said, together. So that is our talk for tonight. For those of you in our private community and on LinkedIn, probably by the first, I'm not gonna say probably, by the first, I will go ahead and put all the topics out for our Monday Night Live for June. If you're on our email list, you will get a reminder every single week of what the lives are as well. So just keep a lookout for that. We do have a master class coming out in June, so that'll also be put in our events tab. So please definitely check that out. We are bringing back something like hot seat coaching. We're just finalizing how you guys can get into the giveaway for them because I don't want to do it how we used to. So definitely, if you're interested in a hot seat coaching session, shoot me a DM because that might be the easiest way right now. But we are going to get those back for you guys. We found that people said they want them back so that they can get some live coaching done. I actually think I want to do them live in the Facebook community. So we're going to figure out how to do that in the most effective and efficient way. But you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy yourself. Take some time to rest, regroup, breathe, and make June the best month in your business yet. You guys have an amazing day, and I will talk to you guys soon.